Hey Sean, can I upgrade my EPR 1.0?
No.
Hey Sean, can I update this MKP?
No.
Hey, can I update this mode adapter?
No. I get a lot of people ask me what you can update, and why not I show you guys? Alright, so this is our MZC. To make sure it is able to be updated, we want to check a few things. First of all, make sure it's got power, make sure it's plugged in, make sure that the switch on the front is engaged, it is turned on. You're going to want to make sure that you have your 4-conductor plug with 3 black stripes plugged into the control port on the MZC. This is the same on all the MZCs. You want to make sure that the firmware switch is set to off. On the MZC 64 and the 66, it's on the back. On the 88, it's on the front. You want to check those things first, and then after that, let's go into Easy Tools and let's do the update. Okay, so we got Easy Tools open here. The first thing we want to do is go up to Tools, and then Update Products Firmware. This is where you'll do all the updating for all of our products, is in this Update Firmware wizard. After it processes the firmware files down over here, you'll then select your serial port, and then it's automatically going to select whatever you're connected to. So right here you can see that we're connected to an MZC 64, and then select version. It's going to show us the most recent version, whatever firm we have on our computer. And again, we're going to want to make sure we have the most recent one downloaded. After that, you just click Next. It's going to have a little box. Are you sure this is your intention? Yes, it is. And then it's going to ask us to do Step 1, Step 2, and Step 3. Step 1 is to make sure the programming switch is off, which it should be. And is. Step 2 is make that programming switch, set it to on. Which we'll do like that. And then you're going to want to click the upgrade button. And then it'll program the flash. Alright, we're almost done. And firmware upgrade successful. Then you get a little box that says your firmware upgrade successful. Go ahead and click OK. And then it's going to say congratulations, and make sure you set the programming switch back to off. This is very important, otherwise you're not going to get communication to the device. And there you go, it's updated to 66. Alright, so we're going to update our RSA. Now what you want to do is connect it via a piece of Cat5, single piece of Cat5, to the expansion port on your MZC. Any of the MZCs will do. Make sure your MZC is turned on, the firmware switch, and all that kind of stuff. You're also going to make sure that the programming switch on the RSA is set to the off position. You're going to want to check your address. You're going to need that for later when you do the update. You're also going to want to take your control port cable that you used to program the MZC and plug it directly into the RSA to update it. After that's all you need to do, then you're going to want to go to Easy Tools. Okay, so let's go up to Tools, Update Products Firmware. To process the firmware files, we're going to select our serial port, click Next. You can see we're hooked up to an RSA 1.0 already, and we've an IR to RS-232. Let's change that. Let's make it into something else, like say, let's look up to an Onkyo tuner. So let's click Next. After that, again, the most recent version is selected. Click Next. Are you sure this is your intention? Yes, it is. And then we got steps 1, 2, and 3 again. Step 1, make sure it's set to off, which it should be. Step 2 is go ahead and switch it to on, like so. And after you do that, go ahead and hit upgrade. And it's going to erase that flash and then program the flash. Alright, and almost done. And firmware upgrade successful. Excellent. And of course you're going to get the little upgrade successful box. Click OK on that, and just like before, it's going to ask you to switch that firmware switch back to off. Very important. And then go ahead and click finish. And that's how you update an RSA. So to update the mode keypad, you're going to want to have your mode keypad plugged into the MZC, and then you're also going to want to make sure that what the address is. You're going to need the address for later. Then you're just going to want to make sure your control port cable is plugged into the MZC, and everything on the MZC is on. You got your power, you're turned on, firmware switch is off. After that, you'll go to Easy Tools. Okay, so we go up to Tools, Update Products Firmware. Let's look at our serial port again, and let's go ahead and even though it shows that we're connected to a 64, but if you click the little drop-down box and select Mode 3.1, you'll see that you can communicate to a Mode 3.1. Go ahead and click Next. Are you sure this is what you want to do? Yes, it is. Then it's going to ask you for the product address and where it's connected to on the MZC. So the address, that's what's on the back of the keypad, which ours are set to. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. 1. And where it's connected to on the back of the MZC. Ours is actually connected to Zone 1. So let's go ahead and click Next, and it'll go out and find that Mode 3.1, and it'll show us what's connected and show us what we're going to upgrade it to. Step 1 is make sure it's connected. Step 2 is make sure it's connected to the MZC. Step 3 is click Upgrade. We'll jump to bootloader mode, and then it will program the flash. Almost done. And there we go. Firmware upgrade successful. Shows you know which one was updated successfully. Go ahead and click OK, and just click Finish. You don't have to flick any switches or anything. Let's say updated mode keypad.
Alright, so to update the mode base, you're going to want to take your mode base and connect it directly via single piece of Cat5 to the MZC. You're going to bypass the mode base adapter. You're going to plug directly in. Then after that, you want to plug your control port cable into the MZC and make sure the MZC is on, firmware switch is off, and all that.
Okay, so let's go to Tools, Update Box Firmware. After you process your firmware files, you'll select your serial port. Click Next. And again, as we're only selected a 64 because we're connected to a 64, but if you click a little drop-down box, you can select Mode Base right there. And it should have the most recent version selected. Go ahead and click Next. Is this your intention? Yes, it is. This can ask you, just like on the mode keypads, to select the address, which if you look at the underneath side of your mode base, you can find it there. Ours is set to 8. And then where it's connected to on the back of the unit. We have ours connected to the expansion port, and remember, you're going to want to be plugged directly in, bypassing that mode base adapter. Go ahead and click Next. Step 1, Step 2, and Step 3 is click Upgrade. We're just going to jump to bootloader mode. You'll see a little B on the front of your mode base, and then it should start programming that flash. There we go. Successful. Go ahead and click OK. And congratulations, you've updated your mode base.
So that's how you update everything. If you have any questions, email us, techtips@speakercraft.com, and have a great day.